All right, I got another one for you guys. This comes from Tweaktown. Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch looks very different to the PS5 and Xbox versions. Switch is looking rough. It looks like the Switch is, in fact, the ugly stick for Mortal Kombat 1. Characters are much lower texture detail, and it looks like the poly counts are way lowered as well, making them look pretty horrific, actually, in some situations. I've got an IGN video that I want to play and go through as well. But there's some screenshots in this article that kind of show it off. And it looks like the actual gameplay is not too bad because you're fairly far away from the characters. You don't notice it as well. Like, for example, we've got the Nintendo Switch version above, the PS5 version down below, and you can see it's very obviously there's some considerable graphical fidelity improvements on the PS5 version. You've got better lighting, you've got better textures, you've got better poly counts. Everything else is very, very much more detailed in the PS5 version over the Nintendo Switch, and you'd expect that. But it doesn't look too terribly bad on the Switch in this particular screenshot. Also doesn't look too bad in these others down below. You can see, obviously the water is not as good. The reflections are not as good. There's the material properties. You've got some reflectivity on the Steam Deck here, and none of those things on that pool float in the Nintendo Switch version. Same with the PS5 version. You've got better water quality there as well. So it looks like the downgrade is pretty considerable. However, I don't think it affects anything in the actual gameplay of the Switch version. It seems pretty tolerable in my opinion in this situation. However, when we get to the video, it shows the fatalities. The fatalities are rough. There's some really, really rough edges to smooth out there, and they definitely they have vowed to fix this. I don't know when that's going to happen, but wow, yeah, they definitely need to. So let's just jump over to the video and take a look-see at how rough this really is. So we'll just fire up here. Yeah, you can see like the eyes are the worst part. Like they're dead eyes. Oh yeah, this is terrible. So let's just go back to that real quick. Because it really shows off what the issue is here. So you can see like obviously the texturing is much improved, and you've got better normal maps and the whole 9 yards on the Xbox Series X. Switch doesn't have any of that. It's very smooth features. It's nothing terrible, and even the models, like you don't have that extra bit of the tongue that doesn't exist. So what is that? Is that like a cloth simulation maybe, and they just lobbed it off for the Switch version, or perhaps it's particle system maybe, but probably cloth simulation of some sort, which is basically a particle simulation when you get right down to it. The spit coming out is obviously not there. The jaws aren't in the, they don't extend like they do in the Xbox version. So obviously there's a lot of animation stuff, model stuff, and especially the textures. The textures are really what throws it off, because you can see kind of what they were going for. I mean, basically it's the same model, it's just lower poly count, which is not terrible. But the texturing is what makes it really bad. I mean, it's very obvious. You can see it's effectively the same model. You can see where the model is the same, like around the lips here, and the nose and the eye shapes. They're exactly the same model. It's just lower poly, and like I said, that texturing makes the biggest difference. So let's just keep going here. There's some really interesting parts. Let's see. Where are the yeah, this is all gameplay. See, the gameplay is not too bad. The fatalities, here we go. So yeah, this is the Xbox version, and then you go to the Switch version. It's like, dude, I mean, I've played more involved games in the early 2000s, more graphically intensive games in the early 2000s. I mean, that's, the Switch can definitely do more than that. So here's another one. Yeah, you can see, like, when you get close in like this, you can see the difference, and it is stark. But you scale out a little bit, and it's not that big of a deal. But these fatalities are just, they're real rough. So you can see, like, yeah, that's terrible. I mean, that's, I could do that. I could do that without a lot of work. In fact, switching to Unreal, I don't think I could do that. I think it would end up coming out better no matter what I did. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and you can see like, it's not bad in the actual gameplay, in the actual fighting. You don't notice it as much. The movement is too fast, and everything is, you're really focused on your combat, and it's not that big of a deal. But those fatalities, yeah, they're real rough. So you can see like this one, really, really bad. Let me just see it switch over here. So this is the Xbox, and there it is. It's real rough. It's like Mortal Kombat from 10 years ago. Come back to visit in the Nintendo Switch version. So yeah, and the Switch's hardware can definitely do more than this. I mean, I understand that Zelda is a fairly low poly game. I understand that there's a lot of things that are not graphically intensive about a lot of these Switch games, but they do look a lot better than this. There's no excuse for this. So they're definitely going to be able to improve it somewhat if they just get in there and really really work on the models and the texturing especially. It would go a long way to improve this situation. So hopefully we will see an improved version of this. Hopefully it won't be as uglified as it is now. But if you're thinking about getting Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, yeah, you might want to hold off and see what they do with it first, because that's rough. Seeing those fatalities every time, boy, I would not want to play that game. I would rather play it on a PlayStation or an Xbox, or a PC. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you like the channel, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and I will talk to you guys later.